Hello, good afternoon. It is June 12th, Wednesday. Happy early access for Patreon and Spotify premium subscribers. This episode will drop Friday the 14th. So, this is Kelly's Coffee and Crime Chat with another true crime case. And I am drinking Java Mama Chocolate Summer, which of course I've drank many times. This is my last cold brew pod, so I am now out of Chocolate Summer, but I'm telling you, this is probably my favorite cold brew that I've tried. I like all the other ones very, very much, but something about Chocolate Summer, I think just because I love chocolate and it's a good one. And I like the old artwork, but I think Java Mama changed it. It had like a popsicle surfing. It was so cute. And, like, he was, like, doing, like, hang 10, like, and it was so cute. It was such a cute, artwork for Chocolate Summer, and I thought, that's awesome. And then I think they changed it to just, like, a glass of coffee with ice or something. But anyway, it's very good. Java Mama is better for your gut, green and clean, with air-roasted coffee beans, so you taste the whole bean and not the roaster because they are air roasted. And I just love Java Mama. It is my favorite coffee. I do like other ones, but that is my favorite. And I also have been getting Kitty Town coffee, which is very good for feeding shelter cats. And it is, oh my gosh, their tiramisu was so wonderful. I went through it already. But their coffee is named after a shelter cat, each one, and they just really, really have a good cause that they do for the shelter cats, and I really like their coffee. So today I'm bringing you a case that has crossed my mind many times, and I know I've seen it either on Dateline. I thought for sure I saw it on Dateline, but then when I tried to search for it, I couldn't find it. But I saw it on a show. I just can't remember which show it was. Maybe it was 48 Hours. I don't know. It was one of those. Or it was 2020, maybe, who knows. But this is the Apple River stabbing. I'm not sure if people are familiar with it, but if anybody knows the border between Minnesota and Wisconsin, that's where Apple River runs. So you can get in the river from Minnesota, or you can get into the river from Wisconsin. Which I thought this was actually pretty interesting to me. I'm like, wow, there's a river and the border of the states are in the middle of this river. I just thought that was fascinating. I never knew that. And, wow, when I looked it up, I really forgot a lot of this. I only remembered that there were teenagers involved, but I forgot everything else. But I'm going to tell you right now, this case is sad all around. There's nothing happy about this case. So I just want to throw that out there, but I want to talk about it because of that, because people have different opinions on this, and I just wanted to present this case. It is not very long, but there's a lot of different things online. You can watch so much with the trial on YouTube, and which I have done. There's just a lot online about it, and a lot of it is about the court, about the trial. So, this story, I'm going to talk about a man named Nikolai Miu, I think it's Miu, M-I-U. Now, he is from Stillwater, Minnesota. Oh, no, he is from Prior Lake, Minnesota. Nikolai is. He grew up in Romania. He came to the United States as a teenager. This happened in 2022, and at the time he was married, a married 54-year-old, and he weighed 260 pounds and had a quadruple bypass surgery in 2020. He had always been like out of shape and not very healthy, but he had that quadruple bypass, and which turned out pretty well for him. He is described as intelligent and a peaceful man. He worked as an engineer. He loved animals, boating, and guns. He highly believed in self-defense, and I do too. So I understand about the whole, the self-defense, and I agree with that. I think he had a little Yorkie for his dog. His dogs were little Yorkies. Well, he went out on Apple River. Apple River is a place where, a lot of people go tubing. It's a nice summer day. I think this would be so cool to have a lake like that here in my area. Of course, we don't have anything like that, but you can, you go out and get your inner tube. You go out and just relax on the river. Oh my gosh. And, on July 30th of 2022, he was out on the river with some friends. I think his wife was there and other friends like in his age group. I mean, they were older, kind of like my age, I guess. Not old, but we're, middle age, whatever, close, maybe not quite retired age, but some may have been in their 40s still. But when he got on into the river on, the Minnesota side. And when something happened while they were out on the river, of course, they were drinking. This is a time to party, drink, relax on the river. My gosh, it just sounds wonderful. And it's fun in the sun, summer outdoor partying, fun in the sun. And somebody in his group had lost their cell phone in the water. Maybe it fell out of their hands, I don't know. But he took it upon himself to find the cell phone. So, as he's underwater, and he even had a little thing to snorkel with. Now, I don't know if he was actually snorkeling or he was using that to find the phone. I have never snorkeled. I know you can go underwater with it, I think. And that could have been what he was doing. He ventured over to the Wisconsin side of the river, of Apple River, while he was searching under the water for the phone. He came up on a group. Now, this group on the Wisconsin side were teenagers. And teenagers, boy, they can get wild. I know, because I was one. You get me out on a river or drinking and tubing, oh my gosh, I'd be really having a good time. Well, they thought this guy looked sketchy. He's underwater, older guy. Of course, they think probably that he's really old because they're teenagers. But now some of the people in this group were in their 20s. So it wasn't all teenagers. Most of them was. And I think what it was other people in their 20s may not have known the teenagers, but they were there by them. So it's kind of like they were all together, but they weren't. I don't know. That's how I understood it. So, these young guys, or younger kids, I say kids, but you know what I mean. They didn't appreciate this guy coming near them. He was underwater. There was young underage teen girls in this group, and they thought he was looking at them. Now, I know when you're drinking, myself included, anything will come out of your mouth. If you've really had enough, a lot to drink, they were telling him to go away. They said, you like to look at little girls, huh? They're sitting there saying this to this guy. Basically calling him a pedophile. And he grabbed one of the tubes of one of the guys. Now, stop just a second right here. I'm going to stop right here. If they're calling him these names, I don't understand why he did not say, I'm just looking for my friend's cell phone. That's all I'm doing, and I'll go away, and then just go away. Or explain, just explain something to him, but of course, I'm going to tell you right now, this thing is on video. Somebody recorded it on their phone. Somebody in the teenage group recorded it. And there's just so much yelling that he could have at least put his hands up in protest, maybe, because if he would have said something, I don't know if anybody would have heard him. There was so much yelling. All he had to do was put his hand up and say, wait a second, I'm looking for a phone. But he didn't do that. He all of a sudden took offense to them calling him names, which I think anybody would. So he's already taken offense to him, like, wait, this is not what I'm doing, basically. But he didn't say that, but he stood there. They kept telling him to go away, and he's like, I'm not going away. I'm staying right here. They don't own this part of the river, Basically, that was his attitude, or what he was thinking. And I know this from reading, later on. I'm kind of jumping ahead, but I just wanted to, if you could picture this happening. Well, they got into an altercation when he went to grab one of the tubes And I think from what I remember, there was so much going on the video. I watched the video that was recorded, and it looked like somebody pushed him. But I don't know if that happened before he punched a woman. He punched a girl, one of the girls. And then that is when somebody else pushed him and he fell down. So he punched one of the girls. I don't know why he hit a female. I don't know why he hit anybody. I don't know who put their hands on who first. You know, I think that when he went to grab the tube, somebody must have pushed his hand away, maybe. I don't know. It's hard to see on the video, video. I can put that link in there if anybody wants to watch the video. It's not like graphic. It says it is, but you can't really see much of what's happening because there's so much moving around. But just watch with caution, you know. I was able to watch it okay. But anyway, so they're calling him a pedophile, saying, you like looking at little girls. Oh, you hit a woman, you know, and all of this. Well, he had a Swiss Army knife with him. Nikolai did. And he had it down. I read that it was in his pocket. Now, when he's in the water's only like up to his waist when he's standing there. Maybe like belly high, you know, so they're not in deep water. Matter of fact, I think they're closer to the other side by the Wisconsin side where the shore is, because he had the knife in his pocket. From what I read on one of my sources, which I forgot to name off my sources, I'll have to do that. There's not very many, but I'll do that here when I'm finished. So he took the knife out, and in a short span of about 30 seconds, from what I read, I think it may have been like one source said 25 seconds, he took the knife and just went across and slashed 5 people. 5 people. Now, these people were from the ages of 17 to 24. 2 minutes after this happened, 2-3 minutes, the 911 call came in. And I forgot to look up the 911 call. I don't know if it's online. If it is, I don't know if I'll link that. It depends on if anybody wants me to link it, I can. I didn't see where it was online that you can listen to it, but A.J. Martin was one of the victims, teenage victims. He went over to stop the fighting, you know, to kind of just say, you know, stop what's going on or whatever he was going to do. But Nikolai got to him, cut his stomach open. AJ was disemboweled. He was holding on to his intestines, basically. His intestines were in his hands. Now, the good thing about this, AJ did not die. He was in the hospital for about 27 days, and he had more than one surgery. He had to have emergency surgery right away, and then he had a few more surgeries while he was in the hospital. Another girl was stabbed in her side. She had to have emergency surgery. And 2 more were injured. But there was one who did not make it. 17-year-old Isaac Schuman, Schuman, from Stillwater, Minnesota. 17-year-old Isaac. Parents Donnie and Alina, A-L-I-N-A, Hernandez. And his father, Scott Schuman. He had 1 brother and 1 sister. He loved golfing, working out, and he even worked as a DJ. At 17, he had his own car and boat detailing business. He was an honor roll student and planned on going to college, majoring in engineering. As I said before, Nikolai was an engineer. Isaac was described as uplifting and generous. Before his senior year at Stillwater High School, he was enjoying the summer in 2022. And then he would be going into his senior year after this. I gotta flip the page here. I'm getting 2 pages here. Without knowing that this whole thing was recorded, Nikolai was in his interrogation, and this is on YouTube as well. As he was in his interrogation, he said one of the guys, or 2 guys, I think it was 2 guys, he said in Isaac's group, Isaac and AJ's group, had the knife. He got it away from them, defended himself in self-defense. He was in fear for his life, he said. He said they would have killed him. They had the knife, and they would have killed him if he would not have got to them and fought his way, fought back. But one person from Nikolai's group over on the Minnesota side, I don't know exactly where they were, if they had to have been closer. They couldn't see exactly what it was, but they said that they saw him throw something out to the shore after the attack on the Wisconsin side. He threw something in the grass. Well, it was the knife. They found it and tested it, and it had the victim's DNA on it. Nikolai later admitted he lied. He lied about having the knife. I don't know why he lied. All he had to do was tell the truth. You have a knife in your pocket, and just tell the truth. Well, this did not look good, because it's like, okay, he's lying about this. What else is he lying about? And like I said, it was recorded, and you can really tell what they're doing. They're pushing him. They're calling him names. They're yelling at him to get out, go away. And he's just standing there. He's not leaving. So they watched this in court, thinking that all he had to do was walk away. Or like I said a few minutes ago, put your hand up in protest and say, look, I am not causing any trouble, and just go back. But then it comes to a head where it's like you think, oh no, they don't own this side of the river. I am free to come over here, and they're not going to stop me. This reminds me of road rage, and it has been compared to that a lot. So when you have this going on where all these kids are yelling at you, and it came to be like 13 against 1, I think it said in one of the sources, that this is what Nikolai claimed, 13 against 1. He was one person, and they were going after him. But he was found guilty of first-degree reckless homicide of Isaac Sherman. Now, he will not be sentenced until July 31st of this year, and his sentencing will be in Hudson, Wisconsin, and he could face up to 37 years he could face up to 97 years in prison if he is sentenced to consecutive terms. There is an Isaac Schuman, SCHUMAN, foundation.org, and that is one of my sources, and you can look that up and read about Isaac and read about the mission of the foundation. But that is the internet address is Isaac, ISSAC, SchumannFoundation.org. My other sources are CBS.com, Legacy.com, and FoxNews.com. And there was also another website, Fox 9, I think it is, that was gave me a lot of information. And CBSNews.com was one of the ones that really gave me the information. And I think that may have been the one that had the live video that the guy was recording. And it's sad because you don't see anybody get stabbed in this video. At least I didn't. I didn't see anything get stabbed. But you see it afterwards that there's blood in the water and the people are screaming. Now on YouTube, during the trial, there's a clip where they're showing stills of the video, still shots. And you can see the girl that got stabbed in the side. She's far away in a distance, but you can see blood. You can see blood on Nikolai's hand, where the stabbing. And I'm not sure exactly. I saw it shows AJ laying down with his hands on his stomach, but I couldn't see any really I have a hard time looking at that stuff, and I was able to watch this. I was just able to, and it could have been because I was trying to get information and trying to see so I could talk about it, but it didn't bother me. I mean, it was sad. It was sad. It was horrible, but it wasn't something to where I had to actually look away. And I do not have I'm not very good at gore, let me tell you. So I could not work in a hospital, but the upside is nobody else died, but it's sad that Isaac Schuman died. His parents were right there in court for Nikolai to be put away. They want him to be put away. There's different opinions on this. Of course, I look at the comments on YouTube, and some of them are on there going, well, It's a F around, these kids, you know, they effed around and found out. Somebody put that on there. Well, the guy went into their area and they thought he was sketchy. Number one, that's what happened. They didn't go over to their group and mess with them. So I don't, that whole phrase there I didn't get because of that. And they were just wanting him to leave, but they kept yelling at him because he wouldn't leave. Now you can see both sides of this. Not the fact that somebody got murdered. Let's say nobody got killed. Let's say that he just pulled out a knife and tried to attack him, but didn't. You can kind of see both sides, a little bit on both sides here. All he had to say was, I'm looking for a cell phone, and that's all I'm doing. And that's why he was underwater. I think he said in his interrogation they took his snorkeling. Somebody took that away from him and threw it or something. I can't remember, but this whole thing is sad all around. The whole thing. It's sad watching the video. It's sad watching them yell at this man. But again, and another thing, you don't know who you're coming across. If there's a strange guy that's not leaving, that to me, that's scary. None of these kids, in Isaac's group, had a knife. They had no weapon. He did, and he lied where he got it. So right there, that does not look good. Oh my gosh. So if anybody has any opinions on this, I'd like your opinion. You can either comment on Patreon or comment on my Instagram or my Facebook page, Kelly's Coffee and Crime Chat, or send me an email, because all my links are in the show notes. I've got my Instagram, my email, my Facebook page, my X, which used to be Twitter. I have all that in there. I'm just very, very, I like, oh, and then there is, if anybody listens to podcasts, Crime Weekly is a good one. And I used to listen to that all the time, and I kind of took a break, but now I'm back to listening to it. They just covered this, and it's not far down. It's below the Menendez brothers. They're doing the Menendez brothers, and I think there's like 7 parts. It's right before the Menendez brothers. They did it in April of this year, and I happened to find that, and I was listening to that, and it has them discussing this. Very good podcast, and the episode's only like a half hour. It's not very long. And I forget the name, the 2 people on there I love. I love their voices. I can't think of their names because I'm blanking right now. But they're both very, very good. And they're both well known in the podcast community. So, my gosh, like I said, it's a sad one. I've been wanting to do it for a while. I couldn't remember the people's names, and I couldn't remember exactly what happened and who got killed. I knew one person did. And it had to do with both sides of the river and in between the 2 states. And that's all I could remember. But I posted a photo as a teaser, and that is Apple River. That is exactly a photo of Apple River, of what it looks like. So that is our episode. Of course, I'm blanking on the episode number. I think it's 118, 117, 118. But I just want everybody to be careful out there. If you ever come across anything, anyone like this, don't provoke them. Just ask them, like, may I help you? And then if they say they're looking for something, they, help them look for it, or say, well, if we see it, we'll let you know. And, but when you have someone like this that won't leave, I mean, they could have said, may I help you? And he would say, yeah, I'm looking for a cell phone, and I'm going to keep looking for it. You know what I mean? I mean, who knows what would have happened? You could sit here and do all these scenarios about what would have happened. If you would have said, okay, well, go back to your group and we'll look for it. He still may not have left. I mean, who knows? I'm just speculating, and I'm sure everybody in these groups think, and even Nikolai probably thinks, I should have done something else, or what would have happened if I had done this instead? But the problem about this whole thing is he never showed any remorse for killing Isaac. From what I've read and what I've seen, the only thing he said in his interrogation about the whole thing, if this is even remorse, I don't think it is, but he said, now my life is over, or my life is down the drain, or he said something to that effect in his interrogation that I watched. And yeah, it only takes a few seconds to do something that's going to mess up your life. So that's why I want to talk about this, because I know road rage gets me, and I'm going to tell you what, man, I go to flip people off, which I shouldn't do. I quit doing that. I might do it like to myself under the dashboard or something, but watch doing that. Because if you've ever seen a movie called Unhinged with Russell Crowe, oh my gosh. Try to get through that one if you haven't. It's a good movie, and I was able to get through it, but man, that movie was edge of your seat because it's about road rage. It was filmed in New Orleans, and it takes place all in one day. And he gets mad at somebody for honking their horn at him, and he goes after him. I mean, it's actually a good movie. I know some people didn't like it. I thought it was good. It was filmed during the pandemic, so there's not very many actors in it. You can kind of tell but it's good. It's good. Speaking of that, I might watch it again tonight. Who knows? So anyway, that is the story of the Apple River stabbing. And I'm going to do an update when he is sentenced. I got to remember, because sometimes now that I've been looking stuff up, I'm getting stuff on this. So like YouTube, I'm getting like recommendations on this case. So I should be able to hear when he's sentenced and what he got. I'm sure it's not going to be good. He's already found guilty, so he's going down, but we just don't know exactly what the sentence will be in Wisconsin. And it's in Wisconsin because that's a side that the murder happened on, was in Wisconsin, the Wisconsin side of the river. So that's all for today. I'm trying to think, what have I watched? Well, I just talked about Unhinged. It's a movie recommendation. If you're into that kind of thing. My mom, normally when I let her borrow movies, she always watches them more than once because that was good. I'm going to watch that again. I may have missed something, so she'll watch it again. When I gave her this one, she goes, oh, Kelly, she said, I can't watch this a second time. It's too violent. But she liked the movie. She goes, oh, it was good, but and she's just like, I just can't watch it again. So it is violent. It is a violent movie, but he's unhinged. He is unhinged. I mean, that's a good title for it. But, so let me think, what else have I been watching? I haven't been watching very much because I've been so busy with work, crafting, and my podcast. So I don't think I've been watching anything new lately. And not only that, our internet's messing up. So every time I try to go on Netflix or Max or something, the stupid internet messes up. I started watching, it was called The Internet, Social Media Murders. If anybody's ever heard of that, I watched the first, so I start watching this, episode 1, and it's the only episode so far. So I don't know if it's brand new, and it's on ID too. But it's called, there's a title before it. It's a title and then Social Media Murders. But I forgot what it's called at the title at the very beginning. Because I think there's different ones of these. But this is about a guy that was a model and was really hot. He's a model. And then he was dating this other girl that was a model. They were Instagram personalities, these two were. And they split up, and he was so heartbroken. Anyway, I don't want to give anything away, but his name was Ash Armand. And he had the long black hair and the tattoos. He was like, oh, yeah. And he, look at me, look at me. No. But he had that long, straight black hair, just like, and it didn't end up like I thought it was going to end up. But put it this way, somebody ended up dead, and it was not the woman he was seeing, which I thought that's what it was going to be. It's gosh, I'm trying to remember the title before it, but it's Social Media Murders. It's on Max and it's on ID. I just can't think of the name of it right now. But I thought, ooh, a new series, right? Well, I only got one episode. And then when I went to watch something else, the internet messed up. Our internet's acting really strange out here, and I don't know what is going on with it. I don't know if we haven't had really any wind or storms or anything, but I don't know. But it's really irritating me. So anyway, this is your episode. Enjoy this early access, my subscribers. And like I said, if you have any opinions on this, let me know. If you have any suggestions, let me know. If it's a big one, I could do it on Patreon. If it's one around the Midwest, up north, middle area of the United States, let me know. Or if it's one that really, really, really needs attention right now, let me know and I can do that also. So have a good one, everybody. Have a wonderful middle of June. Let me get the right month. And hope you're having a wonderful summer. It's going to be in the 90s this weekend. Ugh. So if it's hot where you are, stay cool. Enjoy that iced coffee or iced tea or whatever it is. And I will see you next time.